You're recording, no?
Mela.
Yes? So.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie, and with my brunette, blonde-tanned brunette. You're going darker by the days.
But, I actually got it done a couple of days ago, and I was like, it's not dark enough!
Seriously. So anyway, I am with Emma Hogg, by the way, just in case you didn't recognize her voice.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Emma? But when I looked at you, and to be honest, I watched a couple of clips from a few months ago, and you were blonde. I like you blonde as well.
You prefer me blonde?
I think I prefer you blonde. Huh? You naughtier blonde.
Really?
Yes, I think so.
I don't know, I'm loving being darker.
Oh, yeah, I'm shortest when you feel like.
When I feel like,
Go blonde
I'll go
again.
to the blonde side again.
Yes,
but for now, I'm enjoying being on the dark side.
And with your hairstyle, it's looking very, very good. And if they can't see you because they're thinking this is radio, why are they talking about the way she looks? It's because on my Facebook page, you can go and actually watch us and you can see exactly how brown Emma's hair is. Emma.
Yes, come check us out.
Yes. I feel I'm talking a bit weird because I got these braces and they haven't been on for a week. So now I have a bit of a lisp. But it's a cute lisp, eh?
It's a very sweet list.
Thank you. I kind of brought that on myself. Hey, you tell me it's a nice lisp.
Please tell me I'm good for radio, please.
Anyway, so today we are going to discuss a topic that is, I think in today's age and times where busy seems to be the it word, even when you meet somebody, I feel that, hi, how are you? And the answer I get most of the time is,
Busy.
Good, busy, really busy.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, because sometimes you just ask someone how they are for the sake of being courteous, okay? So you don't have time to really stop and talk. I just look at them and say, oh, busy is good, it's productive,
Yeah.
So if they have a business, I would say, good, busy is good, it's productive for a business. But in reality, it worries me a lot when somebody's response is busy because busy seems to have taken over all our life. And when it comes to relationships, it's very easy to get absorbed in the being busy, and the term that I use is not realize that life is passing you by.
Yes, definitely. You're not present.
That
right?
you're not present, that your children are growing, that
Yeah.
maybe you're detaching from your partner, from your friends, from your relatives. So today's topic is how to prioritize love when you are busy, and I love this, AF. We're not going to say what it is, but this is Emma's doing. I love your little AFs.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, no, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about with you, and
we had another topic.
we had another
actually,
topic,
and
but
then
it
you
was
changed your mind.
feeling really big,
Okay.
and I was like, okay, it's too big, and I was like, okay, what's present for me at the moment, and I was like, okay, this busyness, kind of coping with everything, and still being able to prioritize love, and I thought it's such a it's something that we're all struggling with,
And
just
I
trying
think,
to
even if you own your own business, I think it's a bit more difficult to turn off,
yeah
to switch off.
Yeah.
Although people who work for somebody else nowadays, with email being on our
exactly
phone
exactly
and never really leaving the office.
we don't work 9 to 5 anymore.
No.
There's no such thing.
No.
We're working all the time.
Yes, because
pretty
even
much.
sometimes I sit down and write emails at 10 o'clock in the evenings. And sometimes I get people who email me back. And I'm like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm emailing because that's the time slot that I found during the day to email.
Yeah.
I never expected somebody
For
to
you to respond
answer
to me right away.
at 10
Yeah.
10 p.m. But I would actually do that, unfortunately.
That you would respond at 10 p.m.
There are days that I would probably respond if I get an email asking me something at 10 p.m.
Yeah. Depends kind of on my where I am.
Yes, depends what I'm doing.
There are sometimes I'm very strict and I'm like, no, I need to cut off. And then there are other times when just there's so much happening that it's just like, okay, we're working until 2 a.m. Like, it's fine. It's just okay.
So today what we're going to do is we're going to, you are going to give us some...
We're doing it together.
And we're doing it together. I'll ask some questions. Basically, we're going to give some insight on how to work, life, love, balance.
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to, because I think it's so on topic, like, and I think the most important thing to do is just acknowledge that the busyness is real. Like, I think to just say, oh, like, just, you need to prioritize your partner and you need to prioritize your family. It's a reality for sure.
But you can't just stop there. You can't just say that and stop there.
Yeah, you can't just abandon everything else. Like, like, kind of, we are living in a super fast-paced
and it's a reality that you're busy with your work.
Exactly. And you want your businesses to grow and everything. But the thing is that sometimes we do put love on the back burner. We do put our relationships on the back burner, and sometimes it's okay for a little bit, but when we do it for too long, then the relationship starts to struggle.
I mean, I do know relationships that have ended because one partner said, it's true, I was so busy.
Yeah.
I know somebody who said, whose relationship ended, whose marriage ended, who actually said, I was so busy. He was right, because I was always out there. I was always busy out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize what was happening with him at home.
Yeah.
So it is a reality.
Yeah, totally. So
okay. So the outcome is going to be at the end of the show. So make sure you stay with us till the end of the show. Is so you're going to lead us into living a more fulfilled life with your partner.
I'm all about living a life that is full of achievement, okay? Because at the end of the day, when we're not achieving, when we're not growing, we become stagnant. Oh, wake up, you stop yawning.
It's hunger, my darling. I'm not tired. Because of these braces, I'm not eating enough. Okay?
I'm teasing you. So anyway,
hungry all the time.
So if we're not growing, we get stagnant, and then we become unhappy. So I'm all about achievement, But at the same time, we need to experience fulfillment. So when we are in this, fast-paced life, and we all want to achieve, and then very often we get caught in it's not enough, right? No matter how much we achieve, we want more and more and more. We want more money. We want more. We want our businesses to be more successful. We want to be more out there. Blah, blah, blah. So we can really easily get caught in this race, and it's exhausting, and it's never ending, and there's constantly new technology to keep up with, and everything, and it's like you're on this never ending like hamster wheel kind of thing.
Yes, it's a railway that keeps going and going and going at full speed ahead.
Exactly.
Yes, because there's always a new project, always new things, always something happening.
And the thing is that when you stay in this space for too long and you don't step out and sort of just be, you start to, okay, you're achieving, but you start to not experience fulfillment. So you need to be, achievement is important, but it needs to be fulfilling. There needs to be time where you
sit down.
Yeah.
And see what you've done.
Rest.
And pat yourself on the back.
Yes.
And say, well done.
Yes, celebrate.
You've achieved, celebrate it, and feel fulfilled by what you've done.
Yes.
Because it's true. Sometimes we do something and we're so fast, and with the minute we finish a project or something, we're right on the next one, and we don't even have that time to actually breathe in and say, wow, I've done that. I need to celebrate that.
Totally.
And feel fulfilled by what I've done.
Totally. But what I really want to focus on in this show is love, because let's talk about sex, and at the end of the day, from sex, love, sex is an expression of love, and and for me, like, life is love, and for the majority of people, life is love. Yes, life is achievement, but like if you're achieving and you have no one to celebrate it with, what the hell is the point in that? So I really want us to just live in alignment with our values, because that is when we are the most peaceful and we are the happiest with ourselves. And when we're happy with ourselves, then we treat each other well. And so when we're living life in alignment with our values, and that means we're valuing the love in our lives, then we're more peaceful and we experience more fulfillment. So I want us to remember love today.
Love. And you know, I know you commented about the program is Let's Talk About Sex, but many of the shows actually deal with relationships and love, because at the end of the day, a healthy relationship consists of sex.
Yeah,
Okay?
totally.
So, and I've always said this, when the relationship is not as it should be, the first thing that actually is as an indicator that something is not right in the relationship is sex.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, totally. No, and in fact, I want us to speak about, you know, oxytocin. And oxytocin is the chemical that bonds us.
Yes. When we
You know?
when we make love, it's the chemical that
Exactly.
that bonds us together.
You know, I mean, I don't see sex and love as separate. So, okay, it's called Let's Talk About Sex, but I don't know. Maybe some people will say, "Oh, why are we talking about love? Like, let's get to
I
the
doubt it.
hot and heavy stuff." I don't know.
No. I doubt it. So how can we? What can you? You know, what is the advice that you can start giving us to start prioritizing? I'm not saying that right.
Prioritizing.
Prioritizing. Okay. Love, because at the end of the day, a day has only so many hours in it.
Yeah.
And most people work till 6. Okay, they come home from work, probably go to the gym, keep fit. You know, by the time you get home, it's 7 p.m. If you've got kids, then there are kids. You've got homework.
Parents, whatever.
Very busy life.
Yeah.
So, what is the first thing that we should pay attention to? Actually, you know what?
What?
We've run out of time.
You're serious?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna go for a short break.
Okay.
We're gonna go for a couple of songs, and when we come back, you're going to tell us, you know, start guiding us into what we should do to prioritize. I said it right now. Love.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So
cool.
we'll be right back.
Cool.
And welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly. And today I am with Emma Hogg, and we are talking about how to prioritize love when you are busy AF. So, Emma, tell me, let's start straight away. Let's go into this. How can we prioritize love when we are so busy?
Okay. So the first thing I want to mention is, you know, this is a part of you, like you being a partner is one of your most significant roles in your life. So if you think about all the different roles we play, like during the day, you know, there's, for example, radio show host, and then mother, and then daughter, and then
sister, then producer, then presenter. Then
exactly,
whatever.
right? You wear a lot of different hats. But the role of partner is one of the most significant ones, because that is where you go to, that is your core, that's your home, right? And that's where you go to fill up. So you go fill up there, and then you go out and you give your best to the world and everything. The thing is that sometimes we give so much to the world, we give so much, you know, so much to our clients and to our friends and to whoever, and it's good. But then we take our sloppy seconds home, you know, and we tap out when we get home.
Because you've given so much that when you go home, you probably sometimes I just don't want to speak to anybody.
Yeah, you're spent.
Spent, yes, completely. That's the word.
But the thing is, like, okay, if you do this every so often, it's fine. But if this is your daily, well, what you're communicating to your partner is, I don't value you. I don't value our time together. It's not important to me. And that's messed up, you know. And it happens sometimes. Like, for example, when you're in that baby period of not having a baby, of developing a business, the baby period, because your business is a baby, like, and it's just starting. It takes all your energy, you know. You're working day and night, like, and so very often when people are in this phase, love goes on the back burner.
Yeah.
And okay, sometimes for a little bit, fine.
It's fine.
But at a point, like, your relationship is gonna suffer, because relationships are not made to just survive. There's, you know, and just like a business, if your relationship isn't growing, it's dying. If your business isn't growing, it's dying. So it's not about, okay, which one do I prioritize more? Which one's gonna die? It's about how do I
keep both of them alive, yeah?
How do I value both? How do I honor my role in both? And I think that honoring the role is super duper important, because when you identify the role, what's my role? You create a boundary, right? So it's like, okay, here, okay, with your partner, with my partner, I'm partner, I'm lover, I'm team player, I'm whatever, however you like to define your role, okay? And then when you're business owner, you're like, okay, I'm leader, I'm
manager,
you know, whatever. So, and that creates a boundary, you know. When you get into your role, there are certain behaviors that are appropriate there and not appropriate.
So what you're saying is that when you create the boundaries, when you go home, you're no longer the manager.
You need to take off that hat,
yes,
right? And be like, okay, now I'm partner.
Yes.
Now and sometimes it needs to be not just I'm partner, now I'm lover, right? For the intimacy.
Yes. So what you're saying is that basically we need to get out of one role, be aware actually of going out of one role and into another role.
Yeah.
Because I am sure that when you go to work, you're not into the role of lover.
No. Yeah, exactly.
So, you know,
you leave it behind.
You leave it behind. If you're delegating, if you're leading, if you're a manager, I'm sure you don't go with the role of a lover.
Exactly. And
so
I liked the movement you just made. You were like snapping your fingers.
Yes.
And to me, that shows focused energy.
Yes.
So that's what it's about, right? You step into your role, okay, as leader, as manager, as whoever you are, and you put all your energy there. Now, when you go home, it needs to be the same. I put myself in the role of the team player, okay, because at the end of the day, love is about what can I bring to this, okay? What can I do to light you up? And the thing is that sometimes, or a lot of the time, what happens is we neglect our love relationships, okay? We put them to the side. And then we become dissatisfied because our needs aren't being met. And we blame it on our partner. We're like, oh, like they are not doing enough and blah, 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 blah. And we become very selfish and self-centered. It's all about what am I not getting?
But you're saying the question is, what am I not giving?
Exactly.
To the relationship.
So it needs, because we go into this state of lack, right? Which we do with everything. We go into this state of lack this is not enough. We do it with our achievement and we do it with our relationships as well, right? It's never enough. We always want more. So when we neglect our relationships and there are cracks in them, and even if we're putting loads of energy into our relationship, they will never be perfect. There's always going to be disagreements and everything. But when we focus on the cracks so much that we can't see anything else, then we are just dissatisfied, right? And we're like wanting change, but from a completely dissatisfied space. So whenever our partner comes next to us, we're essentially just punishing them because we're telling them, like, it's not good enough, you're not doing it enough, you're fucking up, you're messing up, like, kind of thing. And then kind of our partner responds to us from that space. It's not a pleasant space to be. We're punishing them. And when we punish them, we're telling them, don't come next to me because it's not pleasant. So we really need to be aware of what we bring to our relationship. And yes, there will be moments of dissatisfaction and we will see our relationships through the lens of lack often. But what's important is that we shift lack to gratitude, right? Abundance. Like, what is the opposite of lack, of never enough? It's abundance. And abundance is, it's not that I have everything I need, it's that I see what I have. I acknowledge what's there. I acknowledge what's good. So it's not I don't have any money. It's I have this money, and with this money I can spend it. I can invest it, not spend it. I can invest it on things that matter to me, on things that I value. And it's the same with love, right? If we're looking at love like it's not good enough, and he's never there, and he always says the wrong thing, and blah 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 blah, that's what you'll see, and that's what you'll look for. But if you say, okay, he shows up for me in this way, and today he did this, and then you know what, and you reward your partner and you say thank you for doing that.
Because then I think when you're in the space of lack, even when your partner does something for you, you can't even see it, and you can't even say thank you for it.
Exactly.
Because you can't see it.
Exactly.
Because you're so bent on what he's not doing.
Exactly.
Or what she's not doing, that when he or she does actually something for you, you can't see it because you are focusing on what your partner is not giving you.
And then they would have done something, and then we respond with, but it's not enough. Like, you need to be doing more. And then they say, oh, I did all this. And like...
And then it's a vicious circle, because then there's the fulfillment, the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Actually. Where then what you expect is then what you get.
Yes.
Because you're not seeing what your partner is giving you, so you're not rewarding it, and therefore that goes away as well.
Exactly.
And I also think that what you're talking about, this idea of focusing rather on abundance rather than lack, also I think it's where we all need to start with our time. Because I know we're talking about how to prioritize love when we live in such a busy world, but I think that first and foremost, before prioritizing love, you need to prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
Even when you're busy, because hearing people, it hurts me to the core when I hear people say things like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to sit down and have a cup of tea and just stare,
Well, yeah.
And then what hurts me even more, when I hear people say, no, I don't want to sit down and do nothing. The fact that people get frustrated and can't handle spending time on their own doing nothing, for me is alarming, because I was there. Mm-hmm. I was there for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Don't give me... I had to fill up every minute of my day. I could not handle spending time with myself.
So when did you choose to shift that?
And then obviously slowly by time, as I started reading a lot, I read a lot of books. And it became
important to you.
And then I realized how
spend time with yourself.
Spending time, because I feel that when you can't spend time with yourself, you're running away from something.
Yeah.
You're running away from yourself. You're running away from the fear of being with yourself, out of fear of discovering something about yourself, or having to face thoughts that you don't want to face. So you're putting yourself in a constant state of being busy, so I don't get to think.
Yeah.
So then now, when I have 2 hours where I have nothing to do, I get so excited, because I started, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to meditate for a bit? Am I going to dance to music in my living room? Am I going to read? Oh, maybe I could go for a walk. And I get so confused and I get so excited. Because I think one of the things I love most is spending time with myself.
And these are some of your favorite ways to do it? Reading or dancing or meditating?
Or meditating, or put music on and I dance in my living room.
That's nice.
You know. Obviously, it depends on going for a walk. And I reading, even just reading, because we don't have time to breathe anymore, And
I think what you were saying, I think you started this by saying, like, that when you make time for yourself and you acknowledge yourself, you're more able to be there for the other. I think this is where you were going with it.
Yes, exactly. Because once you make time for yourself, you know, I mean, I was in a teaching job for 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. When my son started going to school and he became more demanding, I used to feel I was constantly, you know, when you mentioned the wheel of the hamster and you constantly go, I felt constantly out of breath because I used to walk out of the role of being a teacher and go straight into going for my son, and I could not even get those 5 minutes to take off the robe of a teacher and become a mother. And it became so exhausting on me that then I have to be the mother, then I have to be the wife, then the mother again, then the teacher, and it became so exhausting that I got physically sick.
Yes, of course.
Physically
of course.
sick.
Yes.
Where it came to a point where I said, listen, something's got to give. My life, I have to be more flexible. And I was lucky enough that I was in a place where I could change and shift.
Yes.
But if you are listening to us and you feel that you are in a constant rat race, when it comes to life where you can't breathe and you feel that you can't shift, you can't change, I completely disagree. If you sit down and really think about your life, I think that change is always manageable in one way or another.
So I think this is, we need to go on break now. So
yes,
I think,
we do.
I think it's a really good, because I love what you said about getting sick, because it's so vital. So let's pick up.
Let's talk about that.
Cool.
We're going to go for a song or two, and we're going to come back and continue chatting a bit more about this.
Awesome.
Yes. And welcome back to Let's Talk About Sex here on XFM 100.2 with me, Melanie Kelly, and Emma Hogg. And today we are discussing how to prioritize love. This word is giving me a run for my money today. It's because of the brace.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's affecting my speech. Not too much, but
no, you're doing fine.
I sound quite.
You're doing good.
So, because yes, at 43, I decided to get a brace. It's never too late.
Never too late.
To always try and feel the best that you could feel, you know, and look the best you can look. So, how to prioritize love? Yes, because when you feel good about yourself, you know, I believe that. You know, okay, I'm going to talk about it. My husband looked at me and thinks I am mad for getting a brace done.
Okay.
Because in reality, it's true. My bottom teeth don't really show, even when I smile and when I talk. And my reasoning to him was, but if it was something that it never used to get me down, but if it's something that I can fix, if it's something I can improve on, why not go for it? I have this philosophy in life. If there is something that can be improved,
yes,
and there are the ways and means of improving it,
yeah,
I am going to try my hardest to improve it.
Yeah, especially if you value it, right? If it makes a difference to you.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
so
then it's important.
It's not going to make too much of a difference to me, but it will always look better.
Yeah.
So hence, you know, I went and got myself a brace. So anyway, so today we are talking about how to prioritize love and when you are busy AF.
Yes.
And before we left off the break, I went on this tangent, you know, of this thing when I was talking about how important it is to prioritize yourself.
Yes, and you were saying that when we don't take care of ourselves, we can end up getting sick.
Yes.
Which is super true.
Yes.
The thing is that we live these crazy hectic lives, okay? And not only are they fast-paced, but we have constant interruptions from our phones and emails and whatever. So we're constantly in a state of urgency and reacting, okay? I mean, one of the worst habits there is to wake up and look at your phone.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you're like on your phone practically all day. Like, it's a problem, because when you're always in touch with your phone, you are not in touch with yourself. So you wake up and you automatically offer your psyche over to the vast internet, basically, like, and to everyone else's demands of you.
You give your power away.
You give your power away, like, all right, maybe not completely, but a lot. And it's like, you need to be careful here. And so the thing is that when we're constantly in the state of urgency, okay, and it's not just about our phones, it's about trying to live up to all the demands and wanting things to be better and better, we end up with our bodies being releasing a lot of cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Okay. In fact, when we wake up in the morning, our cortisol is meant to be the highest that it's meant to be like all day, okay? And
In the morning?
In the morning, and this makes sense, right? Because we're going from unconscious to conscious.
Okay.
So there needs to be a surge of
Okay.
of movement of energy in the body, right? To wake us up,
Okay.
to bring us to consciousness.
Okay.
Okay. Now the thing is that then it tapers off. Okay, it's meant to go
Or it's
down,
meant to taper off.
and it does this. If we look at our phones instantly, or we just start responding to demands, we pick up the phone and we answer a phone call, we start answering emails, we don't allow it to taper off.
You just keep it up there.
You keep it up there.
So you started the rat race.
Yeah. And
Okay.
even if you don't look at your phone first thing in the morning, but you get into this, you know, oh my God, like I have so much to do, your cortisol goes so up. And the thing is, when cortisol is high, oxytocin, which is the
Love.
bonding chemical,
Yes, the
okay,
love chemical.
is suppressed.
Oh. So once the cortisol is high, oxytocin automatically is suppressed.
Exactly.
That's why when you go on a holiday.
You're more likely to have sex.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're more relaxed.
Of course. You're away from your work.
Exactly. So the thing is, like, cortisol and the state of urgency puts us into it. It's like you're constantly in a state of fight or flight, which means you do not feel safe. Okay. Now, to be with your partner and to be able to be sexual with your partner, you need to be able to feel safe. So this is where the boundary comes in, right? Because it's you can't like be like responding to Instagram messages and responding to emails. Put your phone aside and be like, okay, let's do it. Like
You can.
you can, but it's not going to be very centered and
it's not
connected.
connected. It's going to be next thing on the list. Have sex with the wife or the husband
Exactly.
or the partner.
Tick. Yeah.
Tick.
Exactly. So so basically you can think about it like this, like if we're in a state of urgency and it's high demand, high pressure, it's a state of like we're telling our bodies it's not safe when we don't like take a breather, right? So we just, and I'm not saying you need to like take 2 hours out of your day and do nothing. Take 5 minutes and go for a walk, you know, or take 5 minutes and take, you know, deep breaths.
And I don't even want to undermine I don't want to make it sound like we are removing, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, because I remember when I was working as a teacher, and as a teacher you had to be at school at a particular hour and you can't be late.
Yes.
And I had to also drive my son to school. The minute I woke up, I'm sure that my cortisol used to skyrocket and hit the roof and go out of the roof into space.
Yes.
For sure. Because the minute I got up, in my head, I already knew I had to do this, and this. And then I had to get out of the house by a certain hour because otherwise I get stuck in the traffic.
Yeah.
And I remember taking my son to school, getting stuck in more traffic, running to the car because assembly is going to happen in 5 minutes. And I remember that. And when I think of it, I get out of breath myself.
Yeah, your body goes into that state.
My body already goes into that state.
Yes.
And
yes. Now, can you imagine shifting from that to being in a loving moment?
No. And that is the state I used to be all day in. But
Yes.
the thing is, I don't want to minimize the problem because for some people that is their reality on a daily basis. In the sense that I was lucky enough that I could go into something else. Okay, which aids my body, which aids me a bit more. But maybe some other people, you know, listening to us, they say, but that's my life. What can I do about it?
Yes, but we need to be careful when we use this kind of language. I like your compassion, you know, because it's true that
because I meet people who tell me I'd like to leave my job, but what do I do?
Okay.
I know there's a very long answer to that.
But this is a response that comes from helplessness,
Yes.
right? It's like, oh, what
because
can
I also feel that you can do something always.
Because at the end of the day, I'm sure that before you left your job, you had 1,000,001 reasons why you shouldn't.
Of course.
right? Fear of losing your steady income,
Of course.
your all the connections you
But
had made, and
I built to it.
you
It took
take
me
it
5
step
years.
by step.
It took me 5
Exactly.
years to build up to leave. So
Listen, like, we can come up with excuses for ourselves all the time. So I'm not saying that your reality isn't real, but there's always a way, and you can seek guidance, and you can speak to someone, and you strategize these things.
And that is what I want to put forward, that if you feel that, if you're listening to the show and you're thinking, oh, easy for them to talk, they don't need to wake up and rush out of the house and do 1,000,001 things. Okay?
Okay, but maybe you don't know
But
much
maybe-
about our lives.
Exactly. No, but I am not in that space anymore. I'm not in that urgent space anymore.
I spend a lot of
Okay.
time in urgent and important,
of
because
course,
I urgent and important, I call it, as in, because there are things that are important to do, that I have to do, and they're urgent. They have to be done now, because I am building my own business. I spend a
course.
lot of time in that space. And the thing is, like, this is why it's been a topic for me, right? Because I'm dealing with all these things, I do sometimes put the things that fulfill me on the back burner, but then I start to struggle, right? And this is why now I'm looking to delegate the things that are urgent and important, not all of them, but a lot of them, so that I can spend more time doing things that are fulfilling, so that I prioritize my love, and I still prioritize my love. It's important to me, because my love is important to me. Like, if I don't have my love, I have nothing. Like, it doesn't matter what I achieve. So, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, like, there are ways we strategize. Like, it's like,
yes. And if someone is listening to the show and feels completely trapped and no, I can't do otherwise, then that is your answer, that you have to do otherwise.
yeah,
Because if you feel so trapped that, I'd love to, but what can I do? I still have to do this and this, that is your alarm bell to understand and realize that something needs to shift, because you should never feel trapped in life. You should never feel that I can't do it, and there is always a better way.
well, it happens that we will feel trapped,
Yes.
and it's okay,
Yes.
But when you feel trapped, it's giving you a message, right? It says
Yes.
something needs to shift.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's all right. Like, I'm sure that when I find somebody who's going to help me take over a significant amount of my work, I will fill that space, because that's the kind of person I am. And then I'll become busy again with that stuff.
But
Then I'll have
you'll-
to find someone else. And
Yes.
like, it's all part of growth. It's fine. So when we start to feel out of balance, it's all right. It's just about acknowledging it, and it's never about going, oh my God, this is my life, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yes.
That's the worst thing we can do to ourselves.
That if you are there in that space, then that is a clear indication that something has to shift. Because if you're in that space and you have a partner, if you're feeling like that, just have a think on what that effect is on your relationship with your partner.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be communicating to your partner that they don't matter to you.
Yes, and that you don't have time for them.
I mean, your relationship will struggle, and you will become dissatisfied in the end.
Yes. Emma, time's up.
Okay.
So anyway, but today we spoke about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think it was a topic which is very much to your heart. And I think it is a reality that is really, really, really out there at the moment.
Yes.
So, Emma, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you for inviting me.
Have a very good night.
You too.
I'm going to go spend some time with myself. You?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so good night,
Enjoy.
everybody, and we'll see you next